300 episodes. Mama, we made it. Let's get it. Welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives. I am your host, Bruce Anthony, here to lead the conversation in important events and topics that are shaping today's society. Join the conversation and follow us wherever you get your audio podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for our video podcast, YouTube exclusive content, and our YouTube membership. Rate, review, like, comment, share. Share with your friends, share with your family. Hell, even share with your enemies. On today's episode, it's a Sibling Happy Hour. I'm here with my sis, Jay Aundrea. We're going to be dilly-dallying a little bit. Then we're going to be talking about a news roundup. And then we're going to be talking about womanizing and manizing. But that's enough of the intro. Let's get to the show. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
I can't call it, but I sort of can.
Okay.
We at war.
As a millennial, it's almost like what's new.
Mm-hmm.
You know? We've been at war so much in my life. A lot of them dumb, and this is no exception.
I feel like the President of the United States, when I see him up there, it reminds me of The Wire. Let me explain.
Okay.
You've watched The Wire, right?
Yes.
In season 3, Avon gets out of jail. Stringer has been running things, right?
Yes.
And Avon is like, I want my corners, and goes to war with young Marlo Stanfield. And Avon is saying, bro, we don't need these corners. Forget that street rap. We making money.
Stringer was.
Stringer.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Avon.
Stringer. Yeah, Stringer was saying, forget the street rap. We making money. We living in penthouses now. We got real estate companies. We're in construction. We don't need to be worried about them little corners no more.
Right.
And Avon says, well, I'm not no businessman. I guess I'm just a gangster, and I want my corners.
Mm-hmm.
The President of the United States, not his stumps.
The President of the United States.
You know what I did there? I mixed state and Trump together.
Trump. Yes,
Yep.
yes.
The President of the United States, Donald Trump, is a gangster.
Yeah, that's not news.
He has always exhibited that he is a gangster.
That's
and what he
From
did,
being a slumlord to scamming people with a fake education and terrible stakes and all of that. Like, honestly, the only successful thing that I think he's ever done was probably The Apprentice.
okay, yeah,
Like,
all right.
that's it.
Well, and also promote his name. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
The man is a hell of a promoter. But we're at war right now, and I got to reach out to my friend and talk, because she's an Iranian freedom fighter. Because I'm looking at it, and from that conversation I had with her, Iranian people have been wanting to get rid of this regime for 40 years. So they kind of getting rid of the regime. However, the U.S. and Israel got their hands in it, and they want self-determination. And how can you get self-determination when you got two mega powers controlling the regime change?
Yeah.
And so I bet you that there is some real mixed feelings about everything, because they want
Sure.
they want to be self-actualized and run their own government and be a democracy. They just don't want no outside influences messing around with it.
Sure.
Selfishly, I'm just happy that WrestleMania is here in the States and not in Saudi Arabia like it's supposed to be next year. So I won't miss my WrestleMania, as long as the world still ain't going on in a year, but who knows?
I had a peer just come back from India last week. She was there for a wedding and flying back through the conflict. They did not know that it was going on.
Mm-hmm.
They're finding out live on the plane, and they're constantly being rerouted. Initially, I think they were going to be rerouted through Israeli airspace, and then they're like, oh, well, can't do that. So she spent 20 hours in the air.
Look, they start getting a little nervous because you're like, we got enough fuel?
Yeah, they had to stop and refuel. I think they refueled they just made it all the way and refueled in New York before coming down, I guess, to Atlanta. But that's horrifying.
Yes, because that's not like being in your car and you driving around and the gas light come on, you be like, I got 30 miles. That ain't, I don't want you to take your chances. And it's not like, well, maybe you could, with technology the way it is now, you should be able to fuel during mid-flight. I think they could fuel Air Force One in mid-flight.
They can refuel planes mid-flight, but I don't know if they do that for commercial flight.
I
don't know. But it's just like,
do it for mine.
You're getting this information live. You don't know what's going on. You, as the pilot, you don't want to scare people, but you're like, is there a safe place for us to land? What airspace can we go through? Like, how can we? And you're just trying to come back from your cousin's wedding.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying.
This is crazy. It's crazy. I don't know if this is going to be short or long. All I know is we in another war. I was born in 1980. We was in the Cold War. Then the Cold War was over. Then we had the first Iraqi war. And then we had a little bit of break. Then the towers went down. Oh, nope. We were in Kosovo. Weren't we in Kosovo? And we were in Africa.
Yeah.
During Clinton's.
Yeah, that the events of Black Hawk Down. What was that? We were in Somalia or
something like that. Something like that. But that was more of a conflict, not a full-fledged war. Right. Iraq 1 and 2. And then the war on terrorism literally started from 2001 and technically still isn't over.
Right.
They said they kind of was over when we withdrew our troops in, 2021? 22, 23, something like that. And now we're in a new war, and the Middle East is always catching hell. And so, I don't know, for all those people out there, be safe.
Yeah.
Be safe. For all us Americans, shut the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about. There's so many people who are like, Iran is horrible, and we got to kill them all. And I'm like, you don't know nothing about Iran.
Have you been there recently?
Yeah, you don't know nothing about Iran. Now,
do you know one Iranian person?
Now, from Iranians, they will absolutely say that they are terrible. And the stories I hear, yes, they are terrible. Regime change is needed, but regime change is needed here as well. So,
Yeah, so it's kind of like people in glass houses throwing stones.
Something like it.
Kettles black.
Something like that.
I don't know. Yeah, so we'll see.
Know. What else? What else? Good God, ladies and gentlemen,
hey,
look, we done switched the days since you not in school no more. And no,
same day.
Same day. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know. I've been real mobile now. Yeah, I don't know what the hell it is. What's going on with you? What's new in your world?
So I got some new. I go for my annual checkup, my annual physical. Right? Get blood work done. You got to do all that stuff.
Sometimes.
So it comes back, I'm anemic. I already knew that. I've been anemic forever. Like, I've always been anemic. I always had some sort of iron deficiency. And, like, I'll, from time to time, like, take iron supplements to help me, get to a good, baseline or whatever.
It seems like that's a common trait among women.
Being low iron?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's because of menstruation. I mean,
maybe
you bleeding out all for a week.
I mean, but I don't, because it's not blood. So that's what people need to understand. Like, it's deteriorating tissue. It's not blood. So,
okay. Yeah. Well, that was real graphic, and I'm sorry I even brought it up.
Yeah, just to educate the public. But so came back, I'm anemic. Okay, I already knew that.
Mm-hmm.
My doctor wants to say, okay, how anemic are you? And let's make sure it's an iron deficiency and not something else. Came back, did a little panel. She called me, she said, you are, quote, significantly iron deficient. And not just, oh, go take some supplements or add iron-rich foods to your diet. I have to get not one, but 2 iron infusions via IV. That's how bad it is. And it's 100% my fault. And it got me to, because do I eat iron-rich foods knowing that I'm anemic? No, I don't. I pretty much eat chicken. I eat like no red meat.
Don't eat no spinach.
Spinach is the only vegetable I do like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Beans?
So I don't eat any beans.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
But like, do I take a supplement? No, I don't. Just been living, no iron. So now it gets to this point. But the thing is, like, now, in my youth, I'm like, I don't care, I'm anemic, whatever. I'm be a little tired sometimes or whatever. My hands are cold. Who cares? Now, middle age, I'm like, hey, you could die.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I need to like really stay on top of this stuff. And it's just like, I'm entering that period, that transition period from when you get this advice from your doctor and you'd be like, I'm young, I don't care, I'll deal with it later, to like now being later.
Yeah, now is later.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, well, sign me in. Let me get them infusions. Let me go ahead and I went downstairs, took some ground beef out the freezer. I was like, let me make something. Let me make something with some beef in it. Throw some spinach in there. So I might make some spaghetti with some spinach and some green leaf. Or chili. I could add the beans. So I'm going to do something with that ground beef. But
so I thought about this. I'm nowhere near your ass. I don't need no iron infusion.
Right.
We'll call you Iron Woman from here on out. Got iron infusion. But I had stopped eating red meat for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost for like 6-7 months. I was eating a lot of salmon and a lot of chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And I started noticing changes in my body, facial hair, things of that nature. And I was like, what the hell is going on? I realized I ain't been getting enough iron. So now I eat red meat 3-4 times a week.
Okay. I need to start doing that.
Yeah. And spinach, actually, no, it's a cabbage. I don't know if cabbage got iron in it. I don't think so.
Think so?
I don't think so.
It's dark green leafy vegetables.
Yeah, so that means I got to get back to my spinach. I normally do this little cabbage spinach melody, and, and saute it up. It's real good. It's real good.
I love that it's a melody and not a medley.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it'd be singing to me.
Yeah. But like, ordinarily I'm this pale. So especially in wintertime, I look like a sugar cookie, as you all, can see if you're watching us on YouTube. So like one of the symptoms is like a pallor or like, you're pale, right? I was like, well, how am I supposed to tell?
You'll never know if that's the case.
I'll never know. And then especially because I'm ashy a lot. So like, I'll never know now. Like I just won't know.
First of all, moisturize. Okay.
I mean, I'm at home a lot. So I'm like, who am I moisturizing for?
Yourself. Yourself. One of my clients, I got to do a quick detour. One of my clients is a darker individual and he always ashy. And I'm not talking about a little bit. And the darker the skin, the more the ash show.
Yes.
Because you're lighter skin and I'm lighter skin, not light skin, lighter skin.
Well, not much difference.
There's a big difference. There's a huge difference between the two of us.
I'm looking at us right now, and there's really not.
There's a difference. All right, I'm brown, you yellow. There's a difference.
Y'all vote in the comments.
No, don't say shit in the comments. Okay, y'all stay out the comments for this topic. But he's always ashy. And then the other day, I was like, bro, why are you ashy in one leg, but not ashy in the other? oh, I put lotion on this leg and forgot the other leg. I was like, how you forget? Why are you over here looking like LL Cool J?
Right.
Like
one leg up, one down. Like that doesn't make sense.
One time, I sent him a link for some lotion to get, right? It's one of the lotions that I get, right?
Yes. Yeah.
He didn't get it. One day before our session, because we both live in the same building, I came down to the gym with a big glob on my hand. You know how black folks are. You got an extra glob. You take some of this, even if you don't need it, because we always need it.
We already know. Go ahead, put your hand out, take that excess.
Right.
Yes.
So I brought him a big glob, and he started putting it on. I was like, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
It wasn't. He was so ashy. I was like, you need oils. Like legitimately, you need oils.
Yeah.
To get rid of that ash.
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make is whether you're at home, by yourself, or out and about, moisturize your damn body.
Yeah, I know.
Mom taught us better than that.
Yeah.
But that's probably the reason why you don't like doing it, because Mom used to moisturize the hell out of us.
We got the typical black moisturizer rubbed all in your face.
Rub it all in your face. All hard. You'd be like, Mom, you're going to take my eyeball out. Just sit still.
Mom, you broke my nose. Yeah, you fine.
Nah, my nose is hanging off a hook. I'm not fine. I'm not fine.
Okay.
All right, so you severely anemic. Anemic.
Yes. Yeah.
And you got, what is these infusions? What does that actually like mean? What is it?
I'm hooked up to an IV in order to get iron.
How often do you need to do
system. I have to go twice. I have to do it twice.
So twice, like what is like the frequency of it after that?
I don't know. No, after that, I'm obviously I'm going to start taking supplements but this is just to get me to a point where
jumpstart.
I don't just become tachycardic and that my blood has some iron in it.
When is your first one and when is your second one? Like, do they do them back to back or is it a couple of days in between? What is it?
I ain't scheduled it yet. I'm busy. What? I have not scheduled it yet.
And you're going to walk down the hallway and instead of your drawers falling down, it's going to be you falling down, okay? instead of that, you better schedule that damn session.
If I don't show up for the taping this weekend, then you'll know. I'm passed out in my hallway.
Yeah, because I sure as hell ain't gonna know from the frequency of the way you respond to my DMs, because you probably got 20, 50, 11 of my DMs, and they be funny. They're always funny.
Yeah.
I don't say nothing stupid.
I know.
And it's all because you're anemic.
Yeah. Another symptom is fatigue. Well, I'll never know if I'm fatigued or not because I take stimulants for my ADHD. So I'm never fatigued. So I'm walking around thinking, I'm all right. Blood, just iron less. Just pumping around, not doing nobody any good.
Your doctor said, you ain't got no iron. You ain't going outside. You ain't iron no clothes. Ain't nothing about you associated with iron. Damn.
Nothing. So yeah, y'all, especially to our middle-aged listeners, you gotta make sure to take care of your health because we're at an age where, we can definitely, later is today. We could go.
That's what I was explaining to somebody the other day, like a friend of mine, 40, is your age, exact age as you are. Matter of fact, they just turned 42 because you're about, no.
I'm about to turn 42.
They're a year younger than you because they just turned 41. They turned 41 in like November or something like that. So they turned 41 after you turned 41.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't make them a year. Anyway, I'm not about to figure out that math. But
yeah.
They brought up somebody as like a friend of a friend who passed away. And I was like, well, what did they pass away from? And there's this like cardiac arrest. Right. And I was like, well, how old were they? And it was like, in their 40s. And I was like, but okay, so they was overweight? No. I was like, what? Cardiac arrest in your 40s and you not overweight?
Yes.
And then I thought about it. I was like, this is just that time. We own deck. We own deck. That's what
this is. This is the time where a lot of things can result in cardiac event.
Yeah.
So we got We can't play around.
Can't play
So
around.
I'm gonna make the appointments.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm
I'ma
going
do
to
it.
text you tomorrow morning
Yeah.
to make
Yeah.
sure that you
Yeah.
make these appointments. Sometimes
Yeah.
that's what a big brother got to do, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Does the audience even know that I'm the older sibling?
I hope so. I think we've talked about our
Yeah.
ages before. So
Yeah.
But
Well,
that is
some
a
new listeners.
common thing of like people not knowing which one of us is the oldest.
Well, that's because I was so immature.
Yeah.
You want to tell them the story of us working together before we get out of this segment of us working together, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're the oldest sibling, right?" Like, no, my brother's 4 years older than me.
Yeah.
4 exact years. 4 years and a month older than me.
Yeah. We worked together at Hard Rock Cafe in Washington, D.C. I was a host. You had various roles.
Yeah, I did
server,
everything.
bartender, manager, various roles.
Yeah.
But as people got to know us, people like, we would go out with coworkers, this, that, and the third. A lot of people thought I was the older sibling. I said, no, I'm 19. He's the older sibling, not me, him. And then the question came up, how are you at the bar with us right now? You're 19. Listen, don't ask too many questions, okay? It was the 2000s.
It was
early
2000s.
2000s.
So
life was different. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the oldest. My sister is the middle. Then we have a younger brother that will never come on the show. We've asked.
Yes.
Y'all have asked. He's not doing it. Is he
our
the funny?
Our one in-person one that we shot in studio.
He was
He
there.
was in the room. That's about as close as you guys are going to get.
That's as close you're going to get. And I'm going to disappoint y'all because he's the funniest out of all three of us.
Yeah. The funniest, the smartest. Like
the smartest. We're all smart in different things.
True.
We're all smart in different things. Because I could tell y'all, there's a lot of times I'll be around the both of y'all, and I'll just be like, how do y'all survive on a day-to-day basis? Because how can y'all not get this?
Yeah. Also
this
true.
is simple stuff. Why? How can y'all not get this? And then y'all talk the intellectual stuff while I'm saying the wrong words like Melody and Melanie.
Medley.
No, I did that on purpose.
Okay.
All right. Hey, look, ladies and gentlemen, we're done with this dilly-daddling.
Yeah.
We're going to get into the news roundup next. All right, Jay. Something interesting happened in Texas last night. Mm-hmm. Were you paying attention to this at all last night? Because there were elections.
Yeah.
Primaries.
I would say peripherally, like not, it was on my radar. Was I deeply invested? No, but it was on my radar. Yes.
All right. Well, in Texas, you had the primaries for the people that are going to be running for Senate during the midterms.
Yeah.
On one side, you got the Republicans. And I'll get to them in a minute. On the other side, when I found out about this matchup, I was immediately heartbroken because I really, really love both of these people.
Yeah.
And I would have had a really tough time deciding who to vote for.
Yeah.
But I'll give you my answer as we get towards the end of this part of the segment.
Mm-hmm.
But it is Jasmine Crockett, the beautiful, talented, extremely intelligent, won't take no ish Jasmine Crockett.
Yes.
And James Talarico.
Talarico?
Is it Talarico? I've heard it pronounced on all the different news stations differently. But James, let's say Talarico. Okay. Yeah. Y'all know him. He's the white dude that's a Christian that be going and talk to people and basically telling them how stupid they are, but with a good Christian twist to it and with good, with just good folksy talk. Yeah. And you just know he is pure of heart. Like I can see it. He's pure of heart. And they went head to head and James won.
Yeah.
Was it significant? It was 53% to 45%. So he's going to be the Democratic nominee running for Senate in Texas, which is a huge deal. Texas has not had a Democratic senator since 1988. There was some bullish during the election.
Okay.
So this is what happened. In Dallas County, which is one of the counties, there's a section, there's a district Jasmine Crockett represents in Dallas County, right? It's her county, right?
Yes. Yeah.
The Republicans in that county changed the voting rules. It used to be anybody could go to any polling place in that county and go cast their vote.
Yeah.
They changed the rule recently saying that no, you have to go to your assigned voting destination, which to me, okay, like I've always had an assigned destination to go to, but I live in the state of Virginia. So, but this is new for these group of people in this county in Texas. They asked to extend the hours for voting because a lot of people didn't know this rule and they had to hurry to go back to wherever their designated polling place was to go vote. The judge granted it. Paxton, the Attorney General of the state of Texas, ladies and gentlemen, the guy that's been under investigation with the FBI for a good amount of years, the person that was almost not pardoned. What's the word where Trump had it twice? Impeached. Almost impeached from his position. Got saved from being impeached from his wife, who was a Texas senator, right? That saved him. Then later is divorcing him because he doesn't have moral values that represent what she wants to represent anymore. Gotcha. Him, the Attorney General, sued and got this Texas Supreme Court to issue saying they will not extend the voting hours. So Jasmine is like, yo, this some bull. Right. James was like, this some bull. Why are they interfering in a Democratic primary? Things got straightened out, sort of. Jasmine was going to lose anyway, but shenanigans was afoot. Yeah. When I just give you all that information, what do you say about all that?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. And, I don't know why it is such a revolutionary idea to make voting in this country accessible to everyone. I don't know why that's revolutionary. It really shouldn't be. It should be easy to cast your vote for elected officials in this country. There should be ample polling places. There should be clear instructions. There should be just resources abound. Like this should not be controversial to make it easy for people to vote in this country. So when you start hearing about people restricting restricting people's access to voting, you have to wonder, why do you want to make it so difficult for people to vote? And please do not say voter fraud, because we already know that there is no instance of widespread voter fraud in this country. There's not. And then let's also be clear about where they do this. Is it usually urban areas? Is it usually areas that have more diverse populations? Yeah. 9 times out of 10 it is. So I'm not surprised by this. It does seem like par for the course, but it's like, I think we need to continue to keep asking the question, why would you make it more difficult for people to exercise their constitutional right in this country?
As Janet Jackson said, control.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's control. So who would I have voted for if I was in Texas? I love Jasmine. The black in me says, vote for Jasmine. The person that says who has the best chance to win the election is James. And the unfortunate reason is, sorry, the white man is going to be more appealing to the independents and the Republicans who are turned off by MAGA than Jasmine is. Jasmine is too black, too outspoken to win a statewide election in Texas. And unfortunately, I think that she could do the most work as a representative working in the House. The House is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. Very important.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I don't think that she'll ever win a statewide because people are going to look at her, not me, ladies and gentlemen, other people. And when I say other people, I mean them other people are going to look at her and be like, she does too much.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I would have voted for James. I'm hoping that he beats out who, by the way, I forgot to mention. Paxton, the Attorney General, is running for Senate as a Republican. So he was also in the primaries yesterday.
Yeah.
So you got the Attorney General and somebody running trying to influence the election in Texas. That's actually election interference.
Yeah, we saw the same thing in our elections here in Georgia.
Right?
Oh,
yeah. With Kemp.
Yeah. So I also think, beyond the race thing, James his campaign was focused on this like moderate, populist, like kind of message, and it was very like faith inspired and faith based, and that I think will have more appeal, specifically like you said, with independents and Republican voters. So I think really the deciding factor is more about his like very moderate position and religious framing around his political positions. Whereas,
look, I'm not taking that away from James. I'm not just saying, oh, he's the white man, this was the way here win. Right. No, James has run. Look, he pops up on my algorithm so much. I've been paying attention to this man since with the pandemic. He popped up when I was still on Twitter. I'm never going to call it X. And he popped up and I was like, yo, who is this? Because he was quoting Bible scripture and folks was like trying to argue with him. He's like, no, in this verse, in this book, this is what it says. And so I was like, I like him. And I've been watching him combat Texas Republicans and their state delegate for years. I've seen him go on whatever broadcast or platform, liberal, conservative, it don't matter. He ain't afraid. I actually think he looks kind of presidential, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, and this is never to take anything away from Jasmine Crockett. Like, she's been amazing as a U.S. representative for Texas, the 30th congressional district, that Dallas district that you were talking about earlier, former civil rights attorney, state legislator, so, but I definitely think that she's the kind of candidate that can energize the Democratic base, specifically among voters of color and urban Democrats. But to your point, like the confrontational kind of political style that she has can make it harder for her to appeal to like more moderate voters.
Only because she's a woman.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And I won't even say
specifically a black woman. But
yes, but I mean AOC is going to have the same problem, right? Yeah. Being a woman of color. But Hillary, right, also had this. So let's first say women have a problem. Period. Right. Yeah. You can't be too loud, can't be too outspoken, can't be too much anything because generally speaking, men hate women and women hate women. And then you add a person of color.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's real tough. I am a huge fan of Jasmine.
Yes.
Huge.
Yes.
And I would never say, hey, if you want to be president, tone yourself down. No.
No.
Be you.
Be you.
If you don't make it to the presidency, you could be impactful being other things. Mitch McConnell, way more important than almost any president that we've had in the last 15, 20 years. If y'all should know who Mitch McConnell is. Go dig into all the stuff that he done as a senator and then the lead senator. He done some things. You don't have to be president. Like you could be a representative, you could be a senator and make some things happen, make some things shake. So I want to bring that up. Shouts out to them. It could be the first time since 1988 that we get a Democratic senator out of Texas. He's got a real shot, especially if he's going to get Ken Paxton, because Ken Paxton is the worst individual next to Stephen Miller. Is Darth Sidious and Darth Maul. That's them two.
That's pretty bad. Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's not February anymore, but we still celebrating Black History Month because Sinners is taking over. Now, last week we was talking about BAFTA and that whole situation. But this week, we talking about winning awards. The film Sinners just had a massive awards season moment, dominating the NAACP Image Awards and scoring 2 of the biggest prizes at the Screen Actors Guild Awards, which used to be called the SAG Awards, and they changed the name to the Actor Awards. I think that's stupid. But the cast won Outstanding Ensemble at the SAG Awards, which, by the way, Ryan Coogler is the only director to ever win 2-time Outstanding Ensemble Award for movies that he's done.
Wow.
Black Panther and now Sinners. Michael B. Jordan shocked many by winning Best Male Actor for playing twins, Stack and Smoke. Days later, the momentum continued when Sinners swept the NAACP Image Awards, winning 13 awards, including Outstanding Motion Picture, with Jordan also taking Outstanding Actor and Entertainer of the Year. Now, the Entertainer of the Year ain't just actors. It's entertainers. It's musicians. It's writers. Michael B. Jordan, look, Lil Wallace done came a long way.
Absolutely.
Now, Wallace was still a snitch, and he still needed to go. But Michael B. Jordan,
we will always differ on that point. Like
he was a snitch.
He was just a kid.
He was 16 years old.
Anyway, you know, I always say honestly that Michael B. Jordan should be nominated twice for Smoke, the portrayal of Smoke and the portrayal of Stack. But you could also say because they're 2 different characters.
They're 2 different. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Like even to the point I saw this and it was just so interesting. So Michael B. Jordan has dimples, but he would hold his face in a way that only Stack had dimples. Smoke, dimples never showed.
Wow.
Yeah. Like the level of detail. And you can almost say there was a third performance and that Stack as a vampire.
Now, you're still in that take. You're still in that take from Viola Davis because she was the first one to say it. And she's right, damn it. She's right.
Yeah, she's right.
Did you see her announcing Michael's winning at the SAG Awards?
Yes.
And the emotional speech that he gave. We really have been. I remember him from The Wire.
Yes.
But there's a movie that a lot of people remember him from that was before The Wire, where it was Keanu Reeves and the kids playing baseball, inner city kids playing baseball.
It was Bad News Bears.
No, it wasn't no damn Bad News Bears. It was a knockoff of Bad. It wasn't even a knockoff. It was something like that. And Michael B. Jordan has always talked about how Keanu Reeves, which by the way, Keanu Reeves is invited to the cookout. I know we are starting to limit that, but Keanu can come no matter what. All right.
Yeah.
Just saying that he took the kids out to dinner And then and at that dinner they met Lawrence Fishburne, I believe, and it was
Wow.
just giving them counsel because they were all
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah.
just giving them counsel. And to see Michael B. Jordan get to this, where I've said it before, all the other movies I was like, oh yeah, he's a good actor.
Yeah.
He was a good actor. But Sinners, he proved to me, no, he's a great actor, because I saw a great actor try to pull off the same thing. And Robert De Niro trying to play two separate characters, and he did a good job, just nowhere near as good as Michael B. Jordan. So he deserved it.
Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler, everybody involved in that did such detailed and meticulous work for this film that it absolutely deserves all the accolades that it's getting. Absolutely. And it's still Michael B. Jordan is still young, it's still early in, in my opinion, in his career. But to me, this is like the highlight performance of his career. Like it's going to continue to go up from here. Like this is not the end for him, obviously. But boy, amazing. I don't know anybody who's seen Sinners and was like, I didn't really like it.
There have been some people and that I know that have said that, and I'm like,
watch it again.
Well, sometimes people intellectually can't understand nuances of movies, right?
Yeah.
So, like, for instance, I was talking to one person and I watched Gladiator 2, and I don't think Gladiator 2 is nowhere near as good as Gladiator 1. However, Denzel Washington's portrayal in that movie is some of the best acting I think he's done in a long time. Because Denzel not mailing in, he never mails it in, but a lot of times you're like, oh, Denzel.
This Denzel,
you see the character. Yeah. In this instance, I was like, Denzel is acting his ass off, and the story was Shakespearean, right?
Yes,
and
really his lane. Like he's got a lot of credentials in Shakespeare.
Man, I love Shakespeare.
Yes,
I think most actors love Shakespeare. Most people who are actors that are actors. But the person was like, yeah, I didn't really get it. And I was like, you know what? I understand that, because you don't have the intellectual capacity to understand the nuances in this movie. I literally said that to the person.
Yeah.
They're like, what is that supposed to mean? I said, well, if you can't understand, then you make my point. Roscoe
it's Roni.
Oh, it's Roni? Somebody must be at the door. But one, I'm annoyed that people keep saying this was a big surprise. I haven't seen the Timothy Chalamet or whatever that boy's name is movie, nor have I seen the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. Now, I'm never going to argue that Leonardo DiCaprio isn't deserving of being up there because he's Leonardo DiCaprio. That man can act his ass off.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like this should be so surprising. Michael B. Jordan is being nominated because if anybody has seen that movie, to play two characters and you know immediately, even though they did the costume design so that you could tell, but you knew immediately as soon as you saw them without the costume design, who was who.
Yeah. Yes. There was a clear delineation between two different people. They just looked identical.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was a great performance, and he deserves it. And now they're saying that it could be Oscar, because it could be the Oscar. But I think this is more special than the Oscars, because these are actors voting for who the best is. I feel like
it's the same with the Academy Awards. Like if you're a member of the Academy, you vote for the awards that align with what your role is. So directors vote for best director.
Oh, okay.
Like
first
everybody votes for, best picture, but actors vote for the other actors and things like that.
Okay. First of all, do you know that I was 40 years old before I realized that Academy Awards and the Oscars are the same thing? Give it one damn name.
The statue is the Oscar.
But they also show the Oscars. If you're watching it on so I'm like, okay, the Oscars.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they won the Oscars and the Academy Award? No, it's the same damn thing. But don't call it by two different names.
Yeah.
If the statue is the Oscars and everybody has uniformly said, we're going to the Oscars, if you say, I'm going to the Oscars, that's what the name of the show is. It's not the Academy Awards anymore.
Yeah. But I don't see like how that's any different from how like we changed the names of stuff. Like we just had a segment a couple episodes ago about calling song titles by the whole wrong name.
Mm-hmm.
But you still know what it is.
Yeah, well, I didn't.
Well, that's okay.
I didn't know the Oscars and the Academy Awards were the same thing until the pandemic, I think, is when I figured it out. I was a whole 40 years old, and I was like, oh, it's the same thing. Because it's two different names. But anyway, got a chance to win an Oscar. And
several, I think.
Sinners, yes. Yeah. They nominated for more than a few things. So, look, let me tell y'all something. If y'all still haven't seen the movie, what's wrong with you? Go watch that movie. Go watch that movie. It is great. I'm going to watch it again this weekend. Actually,
Ryan Coogler's Sinners made history at the 2026 Oscars, earning a record-breaking 16 nominations, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor with Delroy Lindo, and Best Supporting Actress with Wunmi Mosaka.
Ooh, I forgot to say, Miles Canton won Best Outstanding Breakout Performance at the NAACP Image Awards. But it's interesting. I guess Delroy Lindo has to win Best Supporting Actor. I mean, had to been chosen to be Best Supporting Actor.
Yes.
I'm surprised that what's her name wasn't nominated for a role as well. Nominated for an award as well. One that just got married to the football player, the only white woman in the movie.
Oh, I don't know that she wasn't. I just highlighted the
What's
main
her name
awards.
again?
I
know her as Hawkeye. I know her as Hawkeye's sidekick. Right.
Good.
It's just slipping my mind for some reason. I don't know why.
But you know what? I'm gonna look it up, and you just keep going. Haley Steinfeld.
Steinfeld. Yeah. Okay, yes. That's right. She should get a little something too, and so should Miles.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying. They should get a little something, and so should that little girl that did the cameo that washed out that truck. That still is my favorite scene from the movie because it shows Smoke how good of a father he would have been. That just warms my heart. But ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the news roundup. For the conclusion of this 300th episode, we're going to talk about womanizing and manizing. We're going to get into that next. All right, Jay. A clip from Justin LeBoy's Respectfully Justin platform is going viral after Dr. Bryant made a blunt claim about fatherhood and accountability. She argued that men who have multiple children with multiple women while refusing commitment or consent support are behaving like womanizers and showing narcissistic traits. Her point: repeatedly having children without providing emotional, financial, or household presence prioritizes a man's desire over stability of women and children involved is womanizing. Now, you haven't seen the clip, but I'm going to tell you how the clip went. First off, Justin LeBoy, who y'all all know who Justin LeBoy is. You may not know who he is from his face, but if you're on Instagram, you know exactly who he is. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know who he is because I share more than a few of his posts in my stories because he's hilarious.
Yes, agreed.
Don't know if he's the greatest podcaster in the world, but that's okay. He got his own podcast.
All right.
And so do I. So who am I to say that about anybody? So he asked her, would you want a man like your father?
Mm-hmm.
Her response was, I'd want a man to be a father like my father,
Mm-hmm.
but not be a partner like my father was. And then she
Mm-hmm.
goes down, basically her daddy was a Rolling Stone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she said her first statement was, men that have multiple women and multiple kids with those women are womanizers. That was the base statement.
Okay.
And at first when I heard that, I was like, no, because you could have 2 long-term relationships. You could have 3 long-term. You could be a 60-year-old man and had 3 10-year relationships that resulted in multiple children.
Mm-hmm.
That don't mean that you're a womanizer. Then she started clarifying. And
Okay.
she started saying multiple women, multiple children, never a presence. And then I was like, okay, now you're adding all these qualifiers. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that equals out to be a womanizer. But I had to look up, what is the actual definition of a womanizer?
Okay.
And here's the actual definition. Womanizing means a man frequently pursues casual or temporary sexual or romantic relationships with many women, often focusing on conquest rather than commitment or their feelings. It can also more generally describe a habitual flirting with or chasing women in promiscuous, insincere ways. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I said womanizing and manizing because I want to talk about the two and how the two are looked at very differently.
Mm-hmm.
But just from what she was saying, what do you think about her definition of womanizing?
Yeah, I think so. It's exactly what you said, right? A womanizer is a man who habitually pursues, seduces, has short-term sexual relationships with multiple women, is often deceitful or non-committal, right? And so it's somebody who treats partners as disposable, is somebody who avoids emotional depth, honesty, vulnerability, things like that. So it might not always be tied to simply viewing women as conquests. It can also be tied to, I don't want to expose my emotions to another person. So I'm constantly hopping from relationship to a relationship because that can, you can only go so long in a relationship without any emotional depth. Eventually, the other person carrying all the emotional labor is gonna get tired of that. So that's also a piece of it. So I think that is right? Like I think the motivation for womanizing, yeah, it could be driven by a need for validation or like an ego boost or avoiding intimacy. And yeah, you can't be with like multiple partners and not think a kid is gonna pop up in there somewhere. You know, I will push back on this traditional view of what a family is, right? Because so like mom, dad, kids, all in one household. Let's stop normalizing that, honestly. Like I get people's like, oh, it's traditional family values. Okay, but we are all different. There's billions of us and we're all different. So the same tradition is not going to be for all of us. It's not going to work for all of us, right? So I think what she's talking about specifically is a womanizer in terms of they are not connected at all to their partners or their children. They're not emotionally available or present, physically present or financially supportive. Like they literally have that a wall up around them. I would say she's right in that aspect.
She's absolutely right. And I posed this question to a few men that I know to be toxic. well, to be toxic, to have that are toxic masculinity. And immediately they felt offended and argued against it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, that makes sense. Of course you would. As a 15-year recovering womanizer, it's been 15 years, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I know exactly what she's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dude's defenses were, it takes two people, and they're right. However, the reason why that man is a womanizer is because he is manipulative. He is cunning and convincing. I can cry on the spot. It's easy. I used to do things where I was like, she's getting a little too close. She's getting a little too comfortable. I'm going to start a fight, storm out, not talk to her for a couple of days, and it's going to get us back on track with the way I like it. That's how toxic I used to be, ladies and gentlemen. And whether men realize they're doing that consciously or subconsciously, those men who are womanizers are absolutely doing that. Now, I brought up manizers, which isn't a word. I made it up. But it is.
Okay, it is not a word.
Right, it's not
but
a word.
It is a slang term.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the opposite can also be true.
Mm-hmm.
I know of one of my ex-girlfriends, okay? She's a manizer, not in the aspect as she slept around with a lot of men. Not in that aspect. But she entertained these relationships and made it seem like, because she thought it truly at the time, I'm in this.
Yeah.
Only to back out when things got too emotional.
Mm.
And I seem to be attracted to this type of woman. Because I have a lot of history of this.
Yeah.
And there are women that absolutely do the same thing that men do.
Yeah.
They are manipulative, whether they mean it to be or not. They are cunning, they are controlling. Whether they mean it to be or not, they are. And in every single one of these instances, they are protecting themselves and really, truly, deeply sad on the inside. Because when you are sad, depressed, hurt, you are guarded.
Yeah.
Which means you shouldn't be dating in the first place, because you need to work on yourself so that you're not guarded. And to think, well, I'm going to protect myself so that never happens to me again. It will, because that's life.
That's life. Yeah.
You can't protect yourself from other people's actions. You just can't. But you can stop living a life. You could do that.
Yes.
And that's a mistake. So I thought this was real interesting, and I thought there would be a little bit more pushback. I thought we was going to argue a little bit, but it seems like, as usual, we're in agreement.
Yeah, no, I think anybody, man, woman, non-binary, doesn't matter. Anybody is capable of being manipulative, exploitive, and emotionally distant, or just completely emotionally cut off. Anybody is capable of that. Anybody is capable of being a bad partner. So I understand her position in the context of her own life, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing I will push back on is like the idea of like the traditional family. But I think it's right. I think that's right.
Yeah. I want to also say this. Ladies and gentlemen, flow with me here for a second.
Oh, Lord.
just flow with me here for a second.
All right.
Now, I said I'm 15 years recovered on my womanizing.
Mm-hmm.
However, there are some women that I dated in the last 15 years that would say that I had the characteristics of a man that was still womanizing.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, no, I'm neurodivergent. I will disappear on your ass. It is not on purpose. It is because I get sidetracked with something else.
Yeah.
And it's something else doesn't necessarily have to be another woman.
No.
And if we're not in a committed relationship, we just dating, then that's not the same thing, right? I could go date whoever I want to date unless me and you got to understanding that we are exclusively dating.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, sometimes there are people out there that are neurodivergent and they just la la land.
Some shiny comes around and you get hyper focused on it, hyper fixated on it, and sometimes to the detriment of other things in your life. Yes.
Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, they did forget to text you back.
Yeah.
Sometimes they actually did fall asleep.
Yeah.
Stop going to the negative all the time, especially if you got a relationship in them. Now, if there's a bunch of things that's leading up to it that's making you question,
yeah,
go ahead.
If the not calling back, texting back timely is like the last straw, that's different.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I dated a woman one time and I had to correct myself because I'm a texter, which means that if you text me, I'm going to text you back. I'm going to make an emoji. I'm going to show a signal that I saw your text. Yeah. Right. I would text her and it would just be the end of the conversation, but there just wouldn't be any more response. Yeah. And I would be like, you ain't putting like a little emoji or nothing that you got that message or something like that? Yeah. Oh, I didn't think it needed that.
Yeah. And I was like, conversation was over.
Yeah. Well, I was like, yeah, I guess it is. And I had to get used to that. But at first it was, she just blowing me off. Right. Because I ain't got to text you. I don't have to take the time out of my day to send you a text. Yeah. I'm Bruce. Okay. I got the line.
Whatever that means.
That's a lie. I ain't got no damn line. I did 15 years ago when I was womanizing. Now I ain't got no damn line. I need to go back to womanizing.
No.
No, I'm recovering. I'm 15 years clean. All 15 years clean. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to treat you right.
Proud of you.
I'm also going to disappear on you when you be like, wait, where have you been all week? Oh, my bad. I got locked into this franchise mode in my video game. And I've been obsessing about this one player. I'm weird, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I can say. But just recognize that some people are neurodivergent. So some people are on that spectrum. And you might think that, oh, they look perfectly fine. They act perfectly fine. No, they're on that spectrum. Just dig a little deeper. They'll be all right. But yes, womanizing, manizing is a thing. If you get played, that's life, right? Yeah. And you can't.
Ideally, of all your relationships, only one needs to work out. The rest of them are going to fail. So that's ideally.
I'm about to hurt people's feelings because failure and success is relative. Right.
Yes.
You can have a 2-week situation and it'd be a success, and you could have a 5-year situation and it was an absolute failure. Yeah. So I don't want to say you only have one. You can have multiple successes. You can have multiple failures.
I mean, ideally,
but
when
they
you
all
talk about
end.
Traditional thing is you end up sharing your life with one other person. So that's in the traditional sense. Do I?
But you just said we should stop thinking about tradition.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do I subscribe to that? No. But in terms of like the societal, like not expectation, but the way that the things should go is like ideally it's one person. So the rest of your relationships are not gonna last. That's just how it is.
That's how it is. But ladies and gentlemen, don't be listening to society about everything, because society will tell you that you don't need to take a shower every day. And I'm here to tell you.
They are wrong.
They are dead wrong. Yeah. Take a shower every day. So don't always go off of what society is saying, because sometimes society is dead wrong. But Jay, on that note, what do you want to leave the people with on number 300 episode of Unsolicited Perspectives?
Well, since this is historic milestone,
it is.
I thought I would also give you all a historic milestone to make you millennials out there feel just as old as I do.
Okay.
The hit song written and recorded by British R&B singer-songwriter Mark Morrison, entitled Return of the Mac is 30 years old today. And I hope you hate life as much as I do. Return of the Mac, y'all, is 30 years old.
Jay, I had just got my driver's license. We was driving around listening to that song.
Yes.
That's some bull. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, I want to thank you for listening for 300 episodes or however long you have been. I want to thank you for watching for 289 episodes or for however long you have been.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it, what did I say? I done messed up my sign off. You know what? Thank you for listening.
You know what? Thank you, everybody. 300 episodes. This is great.
Yeah, this is pretty doggone cool. Are we going to do 300 more? I don't know. Y'all need to start doing a little bit more, spending some money and join our Patreon and membership. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time, as always, I'll holla. Woo! That was a hell of a show. Thank you for rocking with us here on Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Now, before you go, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share our podcast wherever you're listening or watching it to it. Pass it along to your friends. If you enjoy it, that means the people that you rock will enjoy it also. So share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the noise. And for all those people that say, well, I don't have a YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can actually watch our video podcast and YouTube exclusive content. But the real party is on our Patreon page, After Hours Uncensored and Talking Straight-ish. After Hours Uncensored is another show with my sister. And once again, the key word there is uncensored. Those are exclusively on our Patreon page. Jump onto our website at unsolicitedperspectives.com for all things us. That's where you can get all of our audio, video, our blogs, and even buy our merch. And if you really feel generous and want to help us out, you can donate on our donations page. Donations go strictly to improving our software and hardware so we can keep giving you guys good content that you can clearly listen to and that you can clearly see. So any donation would be appreciative. Most importantly, I want to say thank you for listening and watching and supporting us. And I'll catch you next time. Audi 5000. Peace.